Welcome back to the channel. Once again, if you guys like the content to provide, to be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the upcoming content, as we are live here for the 71st edition of the U.S. Nationals powered by Peak Performance. So if you want to see all the uploads that we have coming up, to be sure to hit the subscribe button so you get all the notifications. And without further ado, let's get into the video.
They put my top down on me and I'm dying.
The 2025 NHRA Tour arrives this week to the most prestigious event of the season as we begin the 71st edition of the historic U.S. Nationals at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Jordan Vandergriff rolls into Indy with a rejuvenated confidence after returning to top fuel while subbing in for an injured Sean Reed, now looking to steal a spotlight as he looks for a full-time ride for 2026.
Yeah, no pressure at all. I mean, there was a lot of pressure in Brainerd, to tell you the truth. I mean, hopping back in the race car after 5 years, there was a lot of pressure. I put a lot of pressure on myself. You know, the nerves, everything, the jitters, it was all there. So, and we ended up running really good in Brainerd. So, you know, qualifying number 3, winning first round. I think by Saturday, I had the jitters out of me, and I was really focused on my job in the race car. And then by Sunday, we got that round win. I felt really confident. I wanted more. I was a little upset we couldn't get more round wins, but yeah, I was super happy that I had Brainerd. Didn't know if this Indy event was going to happen for me, but it did now. So we're here at the Big Go, the biggest race, the granddaddy of them all, and I get the opportunity at it. So really happy that I had Brainerd, though. I feel really comfortable in this race car now with this team. Now we can come out here and go kill. You know, like before it was kind of get used to the car, feel the racetrack again. Now I'm ready for it. So I'm ready for the U.S. Nationals, and we're gonna have a good shot at it.
Alex Laughlin makes his return to Nitro as he also subs for an injured Buddy Hole in the same car he ran a few years prior. He also takes on the challenge of running 2 classes as he competes in his Pro Mod car this weekend too.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, there's just not a whole lot of people that have what, you know, you'd consider the golden ticket, which is the license to be able to even get in one of these things, especially last minute. Yes, it's absolutely awesome. I'm absolutely thrilled and honored to be able to get the call to be able to fill in and be that versatile kind of driver. Yes, doubling up in both classes this weekend. You know, more than anything, this deal is not really about me as much as it is just totally filling in. This is the Jim Dunn car in Buddy's seat, and my job here is just to get it from A to B and you know, getting to relive some good memories right through the middle of it.
Braden Davis arrived to Indy with all the spotlights on him. After taking the class by storm with back-to-back impressive runs which saw him go deep in the ladder on race day, he enters Indy now having a shot to make the countdown.
It ain't too much pressure. I think the most pressure was Bristol coming onto the team after Gage just won on the bike. But of course it's the Big Go. You want to do good here. There's a big crowd here, and but the conditions are good, which plays in the favor of the Suzukis. But the Buells can also pick up and run. But I really feel like we got a good shot this weekend. You know, after Bristol double clutching it, and in Virginia, you know, I come out hungry, winning the Mission 2 Fast 2 Tasty, and the eliminations in the semis, the transmission goofed up with me. So that was kind of like a stab in the stomach, you know. It's just like, is it ever going to happen? But I keep reminding myself, you know, I'm only 3 races into my NHRA journey, now 4. But, you know, just the stuff that's happening to me, it sucks because I know I can win. But I really feel like this weekend, if everything stays together, we'll get a hold of Wally on Monday.
Protect your vehicle with Peak Original Equipment Technology. Our formulas match the vehicle manufacturer's technology requirements so that we have the perfect match for every vehicle.
And looking at the qualifying results after night 1 here at the U.S. Nationals, Gage Harrer takes the top spot in Pro Stock Motorcycle with a 673 with a 9, with Matt Smith just behind him with a 677 with a 9. Richard Gadsden back in 3rd with a 678, with John Hall back in the 4th spot. Braden Davis turned a lot of heads early on in qualifying. He falls back to 5th with a 679. Angie Smith down in 6th, Kelly Klontz 7th, Gianna Evaristo in the 8th spot running at the top half, with Destiny Spurlock in her 2nd attempt on a Pro Stock Motorcycle. She qualifies 9th currently. Ryan Ayler down to the 10th spot with a 687, with Chase Van Sant back in 11th. Malcolm Phillips Jr., a good start to the weekend for him. He qualifies in the 12th spot. Chris Bostick back in 13th. Steve Johnson, a late entry to the U.S. Nationals, qualifies 14th. Mark Ingerson in the 15th spot, and Gino Scali holding on to the final 16th spot with a 715. As for the riders not in the show so far, Hector Arna Jr., Charles Poski, and Wesley Wells. In Pro Stock, the KB Titan team rolls into Indianapolis with heavy hearts after losing team founder Ken Black. And what a better way to race in his honor than by taking the top 2 spots to end out night 1. Greg Anderson shattering the track record with a 6:49 with a 1, with Dallas Glenn with a 6:52 finishing up in second. Erica Enders, after having a strong rebound back in Brainerd, she ends it in third with a 6:52 with an 8, just a little bit off of Dallas Glenn's time. Christian Quadra back in fourth. Derek Kramer in the 5th spot. Cody Coughlin in 6th. Jed Coughlin rounds out 7th, now running in the car that Erica Enders won her 6th title in a couple years ago. And Aaron Stanfield, your reigning winner here in Pro Stock at the U.S. Nationals, rounding out the top half. Eric Latino down in the 9th spot. Matt Hartford rounds out your top 10 with Corey Reed down in 11th. Fernando Quadra Jr. down in 12th, Stephen Bell in 13th, Mason McGahey in 14th. His father, Chris McGahey, ends up in 15th with a 6:60 with a 6, and Kenny Delco holding on to the last spot in the field. For 3 cars not in the show, Greg Stanfield joining back to Sonoma, Troy Coughlin Jr., who is still having a rough season as he continues to try and look for the right performance in that car to get it down the racetrack, and then David Quadra rounding out the field in 19th. In funny car, Jack Beckman rolled up to the starting line, debuting the new throwback body in tribute to John Force's 50th anniversary of the Brute Force car. He ends out the day #1 qualifier with a 386. Ron Capps looked to have it unlocked, but a 387 with a 7 sees him fall back to second. Alexis DeJoria held on to the #1 spot for a majority of the qualifying session. An impressive run for her with a 389 sees her seated in the 3rd spot. Matt Hagan also debuting a new body with a tribute, well, not so much of a tribute, but a patriotic scheme that the fans voted on this week that they unveiled today. He qualifies 4th. Chad Green back in 5th. J.R. Todd, after having an impressive run back in Brainerd, he's in the 6th spot. Daniel Wilkerson back in 7th, and Paul Lee rounds at the top half. Bob Taskett III, still looking to try and rebound after a difficult and struggling season to say the least. He rounds out 9th. Blake Alexander making his first return to funny cars since I believe all the way back in Virginia. Bobby Bodie down in 11th, Austin Prock in 12th, Spencer Hyde in 13th, Justin Schrieffer in 14th, Chris King in 15th, and Julie Natus qualified in the 16th and final position. As for the 3 cars not in the show, Cruz Pedregon, after what looked to be a good run, a massive explosion on the top end ruins his run. He qualifies with a 457 in the 17th spot. The body seems to be in somewhat okay condition. Thankfully, the window blew out of the car, saving the body from total destruction, but he now finds himself first car out. Alex Laughlin took the tires off as soon as he hit the gas and almost slammed into the wall. He qualifies 18th, and Dave Richards back in the 19th position. And in Top Fuel, Brittany Force was a hair short of breaking the speed record over 340 miles an hour, but still gets the speed record with a 339. She qualifies #1 with a 366 with a 6. Jordan Vandergriff, who you heard from earlier, after having an impressive run back in Brainerd, he rolls in Indy, one-ups his best ever ET performance with a 368 with a 3, now his quickest career run. TJ Zizzo, an emotional day for him as he rebounds after a struggling start to the season back in Chicago. He now sits in the 3rd spot, safely into the show with a strong chance of having the opportunity to steal the U.S. Nationals. Doug Coletta trying to steal the regular season title. He qualifies 4th. Antron Brown back in 5th. Sean Langdon, the current points leader, in 6th, with Steve Torrance back in 7th, and Josh Hart rounding at the top half. Trip Tatum making a triumphant return to Top Fuel after a devastating crash back in Gainesville sidelined his season with Tony Stewart back in the 10th spot. Justin Ashley finds himself in 11th. Kyle Wurtzel in 12th. Your reigning U.S. Nationals Top Fuel winner Clay Milliken in 13th. Tony Schumacher making his return to Top Fuel in 14th. Ida Zetterstrom in 15th. And Jasmine Salinas rounding out the field in 16th. And to wrap up night 1 here at the U.S. Nationals, here are some of the bit of the shout-outs from today's sportsman categories. I do want to give a shout-out to Justin Bond, who had a terrifying accident during his Q1 run here tonight, was making his way down in the right lane, or trying to make, you think I would understand this? Left lane, ran down the left lane. I honestly believe he might have slipped in his own oil as he came across the finish line, because the car just immediately hooked straight right, flipped over on its roof, and hit cage first into the wall, skidding down its roof and barrel rolling to a stop. He was able to get out of the race car. The thing is sadly destroyed. It looks like his U.S. National is going to come to an end early after that devastating crash took out the Alan Nobby's team, one of their top drivers and one of the best pro mod racers in the class. I do want to give a shout out. Jason Lyon capturing a win. You want to talk about an emotional day for KB racing drivers? Jason Lyon finally capturing a win here in Indianapolis in the Hemi Challenge, one of the best classes. I posted photos on the Facebook page from Mighty Mac as well as on the Instagram page. So again, if you want to see those photos, go check them out over there, because some great photos out of there. It's honestly one of the highlights, one of the great spectacles that come with the U.S. Nationals. And for the first time in, I believe, this entire decade, because Stephen Carmelo was on a 4-year tear where he won every single event. Now, for I believe the first time, he didn't win it. Now it's going back to Bucky Hess's team, who Bucky Hess made the finals last year. He rolls to the beams here today, did not have a shot to do it, but his teammate Jason Lyon, who builds the engines for him, he made it to the final round in a Bucky Hess-owned car. So congratulations to that team on an incredible win in the fish stick machine. Another beautifully hand-painted car. Still a lot to be decided. I may or may not do a bit of a sportsman recap as the weekend rolls on. There's still a lot to look forward to with the fact that Nostalgia Funny Car is here, which is a great addition here to the U.S. Nationals. We have a lot to look forward to in Top Alcohol Dragster. Shout out to friend of the channel, Will Smith, currently qualified in, I believe, they said the third position after not making the Q1 run due to having, I believe, some faulty parts when they were getting ready to go up to the staging lane. So they pulled the car out, goes back up for the night session, is really having a good shot. He ran that car back at the Baby Gators, almost had a shot at winning it there, lost in the semifinals to his teammate, who then made it to the finals and lost it there. So that car is bad quick. It hasn't ran since Gainesville, so they're still getting some of the cobwebs off that car, but when it runs, it likes to run and it eats up quick. So there is still a lot to look forward to here as we end night one. And because of the fact, of course, it is Indy, there's not 2 more nights to go, there's 3 more nights to go. So all part of the festivities here for the 71st edition of the U.S. Nationals. So if you want to keep up to date with everything going on, be sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of the upcoming content. Be sure to hit the like button down below. Comment who you thought was going to look quick here tonight and who you think is going to have a strong shot of winning the U.S. Nationals. And maybe who you'd like to hear from as well, because we do have a lot of content coming up here within the next few days. Huge shout out once again to our partners over at Peak Performance. I talked to them today, and they again just restored their faith in what they believe in this channel, and they have been great partners to work with, and we have a lot to look forward to with them for the coming years, and it's all because of the fact that you guys watch this and make them believe in the fact that we have something that we can accomplish here. So thank you for that. Be sure to follow me on all social media pages down below, Mighty Mac 03 on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok as well. Be sure to sign up for the Peak Squad emailing list down below, because there's going to be some behind the scenes content if I can get some this weekend. And until tomorrow night, this is Mighty Mac. We'll see you next time.